company. Sanjayra তোমার রোলটা কি? মানে রোলটা কি in production?
Actually, see, if he's acting in the film, then during the shooting he's not. So I also switch off. Shokal Bala, like I usually wake up in the morning, run through my own short breakdowns.
Okay.
Night after the shoot, I sit with the bills. So that's how. But I think we support each other a lot, saying that okay, now he needs help and he does not want to be bothered with the bills. And same here.
Purab ki kotheke pele tumi?
Purab আসলে আমি ওর হিপিপুরে একটা সিরিয়াল দেখেছিলাম, আমি এডিট করেছিলাম, so I had remembered that face, and when I was casting I thought that would be the ideal, someone who can become like Juhi's another brother after Sanjay dies, there's something endearing, because I knew that this is a tricky area, it's very easy for people to start. আমি like শুনেওছি, like কলকাতাতে আমার একজন জার্নালিস্ট বন্ধু বলছিল যে she was watching the film at a theater, and the minute, which happens, I anyway kept it for later, when people realized that Nikhil is gay, there were a group of boys who would start whistling and commenting, and so I knew there was that danger, and so I wanted to also cast someone whom it is difficult to who is endearing, who is lovable, who you feel like he's someone you want to just hug, and I like him as an actor. So okay, I wasn't sure o korbe kina, kintu when I gave him the script, no, when I gave him the script, he called me the next day and he says, listen, I cried so much that I don't care, I'm doing it.
তোমার কি মনে হয় মাই ব্রাদার নিখিলের পরেও আজকে যদি একটা গে ক্যারেক্টার কাউকে অফার করা, আমি দোস্তানার কথা বলছি না, মানে একটা সিরিয়াস রোলে, মানে তোমার এক্সপিরিয়েন্স অফ মাই ব্রাদার নিখিল করার থেকে তোমার মনে হয় যে এখনো দ্য ফিল্ম ইন্ডাস্ট্রি ইজ রেডি টু হ্যান্ডেল দিস অ্যাজ আ সাবজেক্ট?
I don't think so, because after my brother Nikhil, a lot of big production houses approached me, and it was very clear that my brother Nikhil bhalo chobi chilo, but we don't want to go there. And for me, what irritated me is not that every film that I want to make would have the same content, subject dealing with homosexuality, but to be told that, was irritating for me, that this is a double standard. And I know I have some friends.
তাহলে ভালো লেগেছিল কেন বলছে?
সেটাই আমার যে ওটা খুব ভালো ছবি ছিল কিন্তু ওরকম করতে চাই না, and I have had other scripts where it had dealt with similar subject which I've still not found producers, and I know friends of mine who try casting for gay characters in serious films where it's where they're not caricatures or and they just find it difficult, so they keep coming to Sanjay to play that role very often. Kintu I think it is difficult, people are too insecure.
কিন্তু আমার আজকে একটু মানে খারাপই লাগছে, আমি ভেবেছিলাম মাই ব্রাদার নিখিলের পর তুমি হয়তো অনেক এনকারেজিং পেয়েছো, রেসপন্সেস পেয়েছো, যেখান থেকে আমাদের বুঝতে অন্তত ভাবতে ভালো লাগবে যে আমরা এতটা পিছিয়ে নেই।
The thing is, like, as a film also it was accepted much more outside India. Like if you really see mainstream Bollywood, যখন এই ছবিটা বেরালো, in none of the awards, whatever, I'm not saying that I'm like hankering for a but
popular awards
nowhere
was it featured.
Sanjay, Purab, nowhere did anything with the and I was at that point, there was this one place where the film got nominated, debuted director, but nothing to do with the film, nothing to do with my actors. And I thought it was so brave of them to have done that film then, and to get totally unnoticed by mainstream Bollywood just showed what is the it's stand that and like though like kind of every time I've gone out with the film and it's got a lot of awards abroad, it felt good, but for me it would have made me feel much more happier if it got more recognized here, because for me honestly I never thought it would go to any festival, কোনো দিন ভেবেছিলাম না, but I thought that here it was important. কিন্তু
সেখানে রিঅ্যাকশনটা কি ছিল?
It was amazing.
Were they studying homosexual relationship in a developing country?
I'll give you an example. যখন আমি San Francisco তে Frame Line, which is the world's oldest gay and lesbian film festival, screening করতে গেছিলাম, and it was my I think first screening outside India. I was very very nervous. খুব nervous ছিলাম কি western audience এটা they'll find it melodrama and তা আমি তো হলের বাইরে I can't sit through. I'm very nervous. I was smoking I think 20 cigarettes or something and all that, and cinemata শেষ হওয়ার ছবি শেষ হওয়ার 5 মিনিট আগে I entered and I could hear people sniffing everywhere, okay, in the theater, and I knew that okay, I'm safe. And then both me and Sanjay had gone for the screening. When we came up on stage, it was amazing, you know. It was like a very big theater, totally packed, arousing, and just people were coming to us and say that, you know, we had forgotten those years, you know, like, and the way, I mean, which is a very different reaction from the homosexual community in India and abroad. Here, a lot of people complained, oh, there was not even a kiss, and I was like, for me, in My Brother Nikhil, you know, a lot of India, a lot of people complain, and I'm like, for me, I wanted to talk about the love aspect of it, and abroad what happened is they were like, but it's obvious, you know, and they liked that aspect. And I remember, like, you know, a lot of people came in San Francisco. Their comment was that in the next day in the newspaper it came out in San Francisco Chronicle that when Sanjay Suri came up on stage, we all heaved a sigh of relief, saying that he's alive and it's like a dear one who's come back. So there was a lot of love, and like and it is not about studying, you know, getting to know about AIDS and homosexuality in India, but different people were relating
human emotion.
Yes, I mean, after Howard screening chilo, Dean chilo, he had just retired, so he came to me and said that, you know, for me this film is a beautiful film about dying, which for me was a different perspective, you know. So I think some people look at it as a father-son relationship, some between brother and sister, and some between two lovers, you know. So I feel that it has those
brother sister ta ki tomar intended relationship chilo?
I mean যখন ভাবছিলাম
নামটা থেকে তো তাই মনে হয়।
The thing is, I was thinking that if I want someone to talk about me, who would it be? And I thought it would be my sister, you know. So that's how I thought that let me get
ওই point of view টা।
মানে
what was Juhi's response প্রথম যখন স্ক্রিপ্টটা পড়লো?
Actually, when I met her, আমি খুব খারাপ narration করে আমি করতে পারি না, তাই she looked like totally confused about what I was talking about, little bit scandalized, bor chok kore, and she's got a very comic face, so I could just see everything happening, that oh my god, all those expressions coming into her face, and I knew that oh my god, she's going to say no, and you know, because I'm terrible anyway, and I was very nervous. And 3 days later she called me and said, look, I have good news for you, I'm doing the film. You know? And that just made a big difference for me, gave me the push to, you know, move.
তারপরে কাজটা করতে গিয়ে জুহির সাথে তোমার একটা বন্ধুত্ব হয়ে গেল।
I mean, she actually became like, you know, like যেদিন শুটিংও থাকতো না, এসে সেটে বসে থাকতো, ক্লাব দিচ্ছে, it became like, I think she just felt that no one was behaving like a starry ছিল না, she also felt at home that everyone was treating as a normal human being, and the way they are dressed, and everyone in the film was normal, so she just felt a part.
তুমি কি ওই এক্সপেরিয়েন্সটা রিলিভ করলে সরি ভাই করতে গিয়ে?
Actually, sorry ভাই করার সময় I was constantly reminded of My Brother Nikhil. Acta is, again, it was আমাদের own production. Secondly, somehow there are again 5 characters, it's a family. Plus, you know, it was constantly the sea becomes a part of the narrative, you know, constantly. I had a lot of my same team working on the film, and somehow I think there were a lot of moments, later I realized, because this was my 3rd film and still I'm trying to figure out if to develop a style, to develop and I didn't realize that there was something that is becoming like a pattern. And আমার যে first AD ছিল, she was there in my first film. And while shooting, she came up to me at one point and says, listen, you know, I can see something which is on air. You know, it's giving me that feel that there's a certain pattern to how you make people look at the sea and talk and not looking at each other. So I realized it later too. And